So all this week we've had the RNC, and it was all building to last night, where Donald Trump was going to take to the stage and accept the nomination of the Republican Party, which he did, although not without a little bit of a stumble.
My fellow Americans, tonight, with a heart full of gratitude and boundless optimism, I profoundly accept this nomination for President of the United States.
So really fast, before we get to the substance of this, which way was he being weird or stupid or bumbling there? Did he mean to say proudly, or does he think profoundly works in that context?
He's an idiot, and I've stopped with it all. It's so funny. I don't know. I want to give a hat tip to the folks over at The Daily Show who put together this mashup of Trump essentially saying that, and all these people at Fox News saying that, it's such a huge accomplishment for Biden to be able to read off a prompter. Oh, wow, fancy that. Any idiot can read off a prompter. And then they went through and pulled all the times that Trump, the idiot, could not read off a prompter.
Yeah, that was great. We thought about playing some of it, but we can only do so much Daily Show. What was it? It was 10, was it 20 times where he could not read a word off the prompter, which is fine, I guess. But they just got done attacking Biden for properly reading off of a prompter, but they don't mind him. And I don't know, I don't care, I guess, if he's bumbling and all of that, but they're still going with Biden is falling apart. Like, I feel like you should at least be fair about that. Anyway, his speech, I'm not gonna lie to you, I checked out on it. Like 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, I turned to my wife and I said, let's take our dogs for a walk. I can't take this anymore. And so we went out on a nice walk in the LA night, and we had a nice long walk. And when we came back, he was still talking and he wasn't close to being done. And so it was very long, it was very boring. And that's not just me saying that. Even that night on Fox, some were echoing the same sort of thoughts.
Well, there certainly were impressive fireworks on the Mall, but I have to say I was surprised at the lack of fireworks in the president's speech tonight. First of all, it was far too long, 70 minutes exactly. And I thought at times it felt more like a State of the Union speech, like a campaign speech. But I have to say, in his delivery, again, I thought the president, who we have seen really turn on a crowd, was surprisingly flat, and it didn't seem to have the bite that he usually does have in his speech.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the thing is, if you have to choose between a whole bunch of crazy lies and fear mongering and racism and all of that versus him being boring, I guess hypothetically I prefer the boring. But the thing is, he was doing all of that lying. He was saying insane things, but he was saying it in this tone of voice, which I guess that's him trying to seem presidential or have gravitas, that you speak at this cadence.
But the outdoor audience, it was so creepy. Like, we've all been to weddings that we have to go to, but we don't want to be there. We'd rather be home. Ouch. It's a destination wedding at like John's. And then I don't remember your wedding at all.
It was good.
I do remember it. Sorry, I have a terrible memory for events. Now I remember it. It was nice. Whatever. Thanks for the invite.
You spoke at it, you monster.
I did. I was having trouble. It was a really great venue. Let's talk about your wedding more, John. Let's have
just go back to Trump.
I was talking about Trump, and you're like, my wedding, I'm in love, idiot. Okay, so looking out at the audience throughout that, first thing we all think is like, wear a mask, you morons.
Oh, we're gonna get to that, don't worry.
Right, but second, like, all of Trump made that speech because he wanted it to look impressive, and he wanted to essentially do something that violates the Hatch Act, that violates norms, that violates essentially the rule saying that you can't use the backdrop of the White House. It was designed to give you home field advantage. You should probably, and everyone should do it at the convention, but it just felt empty. He didn't, I mean, all the people, it was like these obligatory clapping moments, and everyone else just, when they went out and showed the crowd, it looked like they just wanted to go home.
Yeah, there were. I mean, they did clap sometimes, and there were occasionally there were standing ovations. Like I think I think it's fair to say the biggest applause line, both for him and for Ivanka, was moving the embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. Like that seemed like the biggest genuine applause line that they had.
It is Church of Trump. It is Tower of Babel. That's it. Because look, it's just like church. You go there, they use this building to make it look impressive. You have to stand every so often, then you have to sit back down. This guy who is trying to appeal to evangelicals has turned himself into the Pope of the Catholic Church of Trump.
Yeah, it was odd how restrained he was, how restrained the audience was with Ivanka, and Ivanka gave, like, I guess a more reasonable speech. I mean, she lied constantly, but what she really, I guess Republicans will like it, but she built in so many pauses for applause, and she would get that like couple second delayed reluctant applause. And I'm like, this is your God's daughter.
Yeah.
Show a little respect. Be on that thing. If you're gonna polite clap, do it politely.
I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Like, did they mic the audience right? Is the audience ready for that? Like, it's and that moment of clapping. It's like when you watch like The Office, and then you go back to watching multicam sitcoms. You're like, oh, this is just an awkward, fake experience. Yeah. We've been watching the single cam. That's what it's called, single cam version of this sitcom. And then they went back to like, filmed before a live studio audience. And if you looked at Wilbur Ross, a barely live studio audience.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.